We are here to tell you about our message, which is ensuring that every girl child in Zamfara State is educated. Going by the UNICEF data, we saw that over 20 million of children are out of school. And out of these 20 million, we can see that 60% are girls. So we are working to see how we can reduce the number of girls that are out of school in Nigeria. So the part of the SDG goals, the 2030 SDG goals that they seated and they made, goal 4 is free education for all. So our question to you now is, by God's grace, if you become the next gubernatorial candidate, which we are hoping you become in the forthcoming elections, what are your plans to ensure that this free education for all that is stated to be achieved by 2030, what would you do to ensure that Zamfara State is able to achieve that? Then secondly, what is your plan to ensure that every girl child in Zamfara State is educated? Thank you, sir.
I was privileged to be part of the processes of reducing the big chunk of number of out-of-school children in Nigeria in general, and in particular in Zamfara State, where I actually worked for UNICEF for like 4 years in the States, working on a project, girls education project. And in that project, I was privileged to lead a segment of increasing access to girls education. And by doing that, I was able to bring to the table my wealth of experience previously in respect to knowing the best way to tackle girls education problems in the States. And during my stay in UNICEF, we were able to reduce the number of out-of-school children from 802,000 to 335,000. The annual school census have clearly shown these results that we are seeing. Within the number of years the project ran, that is the girls education project. Having said this, which means I'm one of the experienced persons, if not most experienced among all gubernatorial candidates that knows these issues. To start with, the girls' education, we have many barriers to girls' education. And those barriers, I was privileged to be part of the people that identified those barriers. Among those barriers include poor infrastructure, especially toilet facilities in our schools, separate toilets for girls. There's a lot of issues around this. Many girls cannot conveniently stay in school without good toilets. They are not like boys. They need some, secrecy, privacy, and so on to be able to conveniently, take care of themselves. Another barrier, most of the teachers are male teachers. Especially our cultural background here, they look at how can male teacher be teaching their girl child. So people think that no, it's not proper. So the number of female teachers in our schools is very minimal, if not low. So which means it's one of the barriers. Another barrier is poverty. Our teeming populace, especially the parents, have no money to take care of the entire family, children. So what they do is to select the boys and they say the girls should stay. You see, they cannot take care of all of the children. So what they do, they now discriminate. They select the boys, send them to school, and then keep the girls in school and at home to help in the household chores and so on. Which means there's also cultural and religious misrepresentation and misunderstanding. And also there's injustice and imbalances within the families, which we all know are some of the barriers that hinder girls from accessing education. And again, economic situation of the entire household also contribute to that, because some girls will be pushed to, hawking to what? To generate some resources for the family. That's why they do all this small hacking along the line. They got a lot of problems along the line. Some of them will be raped, some of them will be molested, some of them will be, all of this. So we are very much aware of the issues. So which means, as a gubernatorial candidate, having known all this, and I know the solution is to address these barriers. Whenever you want to reduce any out-of-school children, you first know what keeps these people out of the school. What are those things that you do to make them in school? The things that you do is to simply remove those barriers. How do you remove those barriers? Is through your programs. So part of the manifesto in this office is to ensure that people are self-reliant, that is addressing poverty indicator. Many people are poor, including the parents of these girls. So if they are poor, they cannot even afford 20 naira PTA. PTA levy can keep a girl out of school. We know this. We have been in some of these rural communities where you see a girl being punished because of 20 naira. Because the mother cannot be able to afford to even give 20 naira. Why? Because the mother has no 20 naira. So we empower the mothers. We are going to empower the mothers with some economic empowerment activities so that they can take care of these children. We are going to provide some social protection activities related to cash transfer. We ensure these mothers will be given cash transfers to take care of the children and also invest the surplus. It has been done in the state by UNICEF, and we have seen the impact it has made. Some of these women were able to purchase cattle with the little money they were saving from UNICEF cash transfer. So we know this has been practiced, this has been demonstrated, and this can be continued by our administration. We are very sure that we can do that. Another thing is the teacher. We cannot continue to teach our children with the number of teachers that we have. Limited number of teachers are in no way not sufficient for our girl child and also the boys. So we ensure that we recruit more qualified female teachers, because it will attract the female child to the school. When the child knows it's a female that will teach her, she will be more comfortable. The female teacher will be a role model, will be a mentor to the girls. Again, sometimes they cannot come to and approach the head teacher if the teacher is the male head teacher. Say, I'm menstruating, or I have pen, waist pen, or I have this. She cannot, which means she needs a female teacher that she can relate with. You understand? So we ensure that we bridge that gap by bringing female teachers, adequate female teachers. We have them. So many have graduated from FCT here. So many have graduated from COE Imaru here. And as a former lecturer, I know many graduates that I know, FCE graduates. I was lecturing for like 17 years in college education. So I know we have plenty of graduates that can handle our schools. But the government has no political will to recruit these people, to post them appropriately, and to ensure their training and retraining, to ensure their welfare and so on. So we ensure our teachers are adequately employed, they are trained, they are retrained, and they are closely monitored and supervised, so that they will effectively give our children, especially the girls, the quality education that we expect them to get. Another important thing that we are going to ensure is adequate and timely release of budgets. While we are doing that, we ensure that we put anti-corruption activities that will monitor this money. Because the problem is, if government release money, is one thing. Utilizing the money in education to ensure education for all is another thing. So we'll curb corruption in education. We'll ensure that no head teacher, no principal, no whoever is an education administrator will sit on education money and will go scot-free. That's no way. We'll ensure the adequate provision according to United Nations, UNESCO, which is 26% of our budget. Money must work for our people. the money, our party, part of what we are going to put in place is to improve the infrastructure. Like I told you, so many dilapidated facilities are still in existence in our schools, and that prevents many children from going to school. I know of so many communities without schools. There are rural communities, there are children there, especially no access. So the place will put facilities, especially the teaching materials and the learning materials, and also improve in the area of monitoring and supervision. And all of this will be done by the community themselves. Because one of the key manifesto of this organization, of this political party, is community-driven development. We allow the people themselves to solve their own problems. So government is only going to support, facilitate, and ensure compliance to let down principles, but the people themselves will be actively involved in addressing those problems. Because most of these problems are within the people. So the solution should also be within the people. So the government will support, ensure that those problems are being addressed or are addressed by the people themselves. So we put what is called community accountability and transparency initiative, in which the community will have a small group, education, people who have passion in education, people who are passionate to improve girl child education, to have their stake in running the school. The people can be drawn from SBMCs, from mother associations, from PTA, from other community members, to have the team, the community action team. They can sanction a contractor. We give them powers that they can sanction a contractor. When the government issue a contract to build a school or renovate a school, this community accountability and transparency initiative in the community, they can sanction the contractor. We'll ensure that we give them the powers to sanction the contractors. If they see any poor quality job is being done in their school, they will stop the contractor. We will make sure that we use the House of Assembly to enact a law that will give them powers to sanction head teacher, to sanction any teacher that found wanting, to monitor closely the schools, especially the girl child. I will also provide adequate security for our schools. Because one of the key problems that people cannot access education if the schools are not secured. Nobody can afford to allow their girls be stolen by bandits or be abducted by bandits. So we'll ensure adequate security by making the community guards more stronger than where they are now. Because there's no police or soldier or whoever can ensure security of your schools. But the community guards are the most important persons to do that. So we'll strengthen the community guards, we'll increase their pay, we'll ensure that they monitor schools regularly so that our girls will be secured, nobody can come and adopt them, nobody can come and stabilize their education. I will take stringent action against any person found raping a girl, molesting a girl, or whatever means that you abuse a girl. We will not take it lightly with anybody. We will work with the judiciary, especially our Chief Justice. I know her very well. She will ensure compliance to all judges that anybody found molesting a girl, abusing a girl, especially rape, that person should be killed. Simple. That person should be killed. No need of the person staying again. There's no way. So these are some of the programs that we intend to roll out in the event God Almighty gave us this victory. We become the leaders. We do this.
So that there are already existing policies that have tried to address this, but they are just policies that are not yet being implemented. And with all that you've said, we trust that by God's grace, when you become the governor, the girl child would have better things. Because apart from education, you've also said other things that concern the girl child that we are also advocating for. So we pray by God's grace to become the governor. We are very, very grateful for this opportunity.